Peace, peace, Queen Episode here to align those chakras. I want to talk about today the art of detachment. We all, especially myself, have gone through so many circumstances, so many human beings that we needed to detach from and just go with the flow. And we didn't know how to do that. We didn't know how or why, or we just forget, how to pay attention to people's expiration dates. I love saying that because it's the truth. We allow people to stay in our lives way past the time they're supposed to. So the art of detachment is definitely something strongly practiced in Buddhism. As we know, Buddhism is not a religion, so they literally live by laws of forward movement and, again, detachment. This is very important because it allows us to take more control of our lives without really needing or having control, if that makes sense. Because we live in a reality where having no control is actually having control because you're allowing. And this is what it's all about. Detachment is all about allowing things to just flow and to just go the way it's supposed to. And that's something that's really hard in this generation because we've just gotten so accustomed to not having the best families, not having the best friendships. So whenever we do find people that we think are good for us and really aren't, we hold on. And we're in a generation where it's a whole ride or die thing, so everyone's literally trying to do their best to see past people's flaws and appreciate them and love them for who they are. And by all means, that is great, but that does not mean to keep yourself in a negative relationship or to keep yourself in a negative circumstance just out of the heck of going through hardship with something or really trying to give your all to something. There's limitations to everything. There's limitations to how we should move and operate. We shouldn't just be all open all the time. You still need to protect your aura. You still need to protect yourself as a human being. You still need to protect your emotions. You need to protect you. You need to make sure you're surrounded by a positive life, a positive outcome, positive people. And yes, not all things can be positive, not all things are going to be perfect, but how we view our reality, how we understand our reality plays a huge part on whether or not it's a positive outcome, whether or not it's a positive experience or a positive person. So it's literally just all about focusing and interpreting your life. Literally, this is what this whole experience is about, learning and experiencing. So if you're not analyzing, if you're just living, literally frame by frame, but in the aspect of, you just don't really care too much about anyone in your life or what roles anything in your life plays for you, this will make it really difficult for you to understand where you stand in your life and if you're allowing yourself to detach or not. Now, when it comes to detachment and people, it's important that you notice, if you get anxious around certain people, if you get anxiety, if you get upset all the time, or when people just literally can't understand you, it's for a reason. This person or these people are not meant to be there in your life. They're not meant to be a part of your life. And that's the reason why you feel like you have to walk on eggshells, or you feel like it just doesn't resonate with you. And yes, you should accept someone for who they are, but you need to also pay attention to when this person just doesn't align with you on a frequency. It's okay. It's okay to, appreciate someone, but keep distance and only bring yourself around that person when necessary, or, when you feel up to it, when you have the energy for it. When it comes to experiences, it's really important that you detach. detaching is so serious when it comes to experiences as well, because you can easily send yourself into a downward spiral. You can easily send yourself into depression when you try to understand why certain things are happening in your life. So detachment is a lot bigger than you think. It's a lot bigger than just, not having emotions or just cutting everything off. It's not about losing emotion. It's not about losing understanding of certain situations. It does not mean, just walk away from something and just never worry about it again. No, detachment is about going with the flow, allowing yourself to observe and not react. Only react after observing the situation for what it is. Sometimes we need to give ourselves more time before we react to things, because then we end up misconstruing what someone's trying to say, misinterpreting it. We end up misunderstanding what a certain situation or experience means in our life at the moment. For example, if you've just lost your job, your first instinct is like, oh my god, how am I going to pay my bills, blah, blah, blah. But everything is bigger than what it appears to be. Everything is a lot more to it than we see it as. And sometimes you have to lose that job to end up in a different one that's going to do better for you. Or there might be someone there that you need to have a conversation with, but in order for you to get to that person, you have to lose that job. So now by implementing detachment, instead of getting upset when you lose this job, you understand and you understand that it served the purpose, that whatever you had going on there no longer serves you. And it just means that it's time for a new change. It's time for something else to happen. So the art of detachment also plays a huge part on how we respond to change. A lot of us, including myself, sometimes change can be really, really hard. And even when you do try to detach, sometimes there's, a cycle of emotions that keep repeating for you. So it's kind of hard to just completely detach and, trust that whatever's next is what's divinely next. And trusting that, whatever just happened in a divinely manner. It happened exactly how it was supposed to, when it was supposed to. And you fulfilled your duty, and now it's time for something else. So, we have to find grounding in going with the flow and change. Change and going with the flow is like the top two most difficult things I see that we all as human beings and spiritual multi-dimensional beings go through, that it's really hard for us to interpret sometimes. You're going to have days where, you got it. You can just go with anything that comes your way, negativity coming to you, but, you're moving like the Matrix and you're dodging everything. But there is going to be some days where the detachment is not really in its best place for you, and that's okay. Also respect your shadow side. Also respect the negative aspect of things. It's not always supposed to be positive. It's not always supposed to make sense. It's not always supposed to feel right. The things we desire is always on the other side of fear, so we have to take things the way they are. Sometimes we have to experience these negative things or opposites to truly transcend and to truly understand our place in life, because our lives change day to day. The future is constantly changing. There's no fixed future. Everything constantly changes. It changes all the time. So no one really knows what's next to happen. Nobody really knows what to expect. And this is where detachment and going with the flow comes in, because now you stop caring so much about what's supposed to be happening or what's supposed to happen next, that you're more grounded to say, I served my purpose here, or I served my purpose with this person served their purpose in my life, and now we no longer serve anything for each other. We did what we were supposed to do, I did what I was supposed to do, and now it's time to move forward. And one thing that I've understood from all the energetic changes that's been going on in the past couple of months, a lot of our womb trauma has to do with past life experiences. For me, one thing that was popping up that really was holding a toll on how I was moving forward was a lot of negative experiences that I went through in different wars, like thousands of years ago. So that really left me in a very conflicting place in my life, because here I am learning all these things, really learning how to apply detachment and going with the flow into my life, and then bam, all of a sudden I'm conflicting myself. I don't know what to do. I feel like every step forward is like 5 steps back, but I'm like, I'm really trying so hard to clear so much energy, so what's going on. And I had to realize that it was actually bigger than me. This had to do with a past life. This had to do with something that wasn't necessarily my doing, my creation. It was literally a war. I had vision flashbacks of, a very crazy war. It was a lot of fires, a lot of arrows everywhere. And I just remember seeing titans. I remember seeing, just so many things was going on. And I had to recognize that, there were certain things that occurred in this war that was holding me back. It had to have been maybe the way I died, or maybe the reason of the war, something that either held me personally back or held back my civilization at the moment. And this was something I carried down till now. So I'm over here, so confused. Like, I'm working so hard on my energetic field. I'm working so hard on detachment. I'm working so much on law of attraction. But every time I step forward, I'm going all the way back. And it's just like, all right, what's going on? And that's when it was time to, look into the past. And what this also has to do with what I'm saying too is, as we go through this life process, we clear out past things, right? And we obviously are going to start off first with our human interactions, our human experiences. So the first set of things you're going to really start going through is your childhood. You're going to start clearing that, and that's what I just realized was what I was doing the whole time, but I wasn't clearing karma from past lives. I was just working on myself in this life. Yes, there are little things here and there that did fall into my past lives, but I wasn't really digging into my past life. I was just really like, looking at little things here and there, or like trying to understand what would have happened back then that is affecting me now. But I didn't dig into the past life. So, speaking with my guides and having them show me what specific situations was holding me back, I literally had like a lot of dense energy in my left leg, which the bottom left side of your body is the mother side. So, this had to do a lot with feminine energy. And, maybe the war had to do with feminine energy. Maybe we're fighting for women. It could be so many different things that I haven't really gotten to explore yet. But it played a huge part in why it was so hard for me to detach. So, I don't know if you guys believe in past lives, but I'm telling you guys, this stuff is real. We are energy, so that means that energy can never be created nor destroyed. So we've existed more than just this life. So our past lives are going to play humongous roles into our lives, and once you start operating and trying to apply detachment and forward movement into your life, you will eventually start getting into past lives and karmic lessons that you haven't escaped yet, that you haven't healed yet. So it's really important now to practice very, very hard with all that you have, to practice how to not get bothered by people and what energy they have going on, not getting bothered by whatever experiences you're going through, because none of these things define who you are and what you do with your life and what you're meant to do on this planet. None of these things have a say in who you are. And even if, something is a backfire of something that you did, it's not really a backfire. this can, again, still have to do with a past life that you're reliving now, which is why you don't understand why you made the mistake or why you put yourself in this position. But everything has to do with something. Nothing is just happening to you for no reason. And this is why detachment helps so much, because by understanding that, by now applying detachment, you no longer start spiraling yourself down into lower self, into the Satan consciousness. You no longer are bringing yourself down. You're going to start getting accustomed to being more balanced. And even what I'm saying, that doesn't mean that your outside world is going to reflect that balance within. You're still going to have to go through certain things and certain experiences to get to the things you desire. So what's inside is not always going to match outside, but what is fixed, what is you, is inside. What is not you is outside. It is all just merely a reflection of different parts of yourselves, which can be past lives or now. It can be anything. But again, detachment is the best thing to apply to your life. It just helps you clear so much energy, so much stagnant energy, so many issues in your life, because now you can go with the flow. Now you can understand, things just happen because they're meant to, that they were planned to, and that all we really can do is see them, accept them, and move forward. And we need to understand too, a lot of things get passed down in DNA, a lot of things get passed down in the womb. So there's going to be a lot of ancestral baggage that's going to hold us back, because, a lot of it is up to us to heal as well. It's not only just up to our parents, it's not just only up to our grandparents and great-grandparents. They already played their part in being a part of it. Now us, as being a whole bunch of waves of indigos and rainbow children and crystal kids and just all these different things, it is now our duties to start healing all of these traumas, start healing these things so that we can stop passing it down, so that we can now start fully taking advantage of this new consciousness, of the new shifts that we are experiencing. And this is why, again, if you've watched my previous videos, you see this is why the throat chakra is getting tight. This is why, or it's getting too loose. Maybe you're expressing too much. Why your womb is going through so much pain. Maybe in random places of your body as well. You could be getting sick right now. You could be having complications with migraines and headaches, and even your diet is setting off your physical body. And it's because for the past few months there's been so much different energetic shifts going on. And the best thing you can do is eat clean and detach. The art of detachment, guys. This is what we need to move forward. This is what we need to progress as a civilization, by learning how to no longer hold on to things that occur in the matrix, no longer hold on to things that other people are doing. They do not define us, and no matter how people feel about you, it does not define you. It does not stop you from being who you are. Only you can do that. So with that being said, let's please start, practicing more detachment, start practicing how to stay leveled and grounded no matter what others are doing to us or saying to us, no matter what experiences are occurring in the moment. We have to detach. We have to go with the flow. We have to find a flow that works for us individually. Don't try to push yourself too much. Take it one step at a time. Definitely try to look more into past lives. All you literally need to do is, definitely clean your space with Palo Santo or sage, and make sure that you call on your spirit guides of the purest and highest of love and light, and ask them literally so simply to just show you. And if you haven't developed your psychic abilities yet, they will show you in messages, they will show you in movies, they will show you in music. You just have to pay attention. You just have to become observant. That is also another key to detachment: observation. Being able to recognize messages as they come to you, learning how to use your intuition more, and stop ignoring it. So I hope this video works out for you guys. I hope this makes sense to you. I hope this brings clarity. I hope this brings you to some sort of understanding and flow within your life, and helps you, get away from all the negative things going on around you, and start living a happier life, because the more you detach, the happier you are because now your emotions are not being tugged and pulled in all different directions with all the different things occurring in your life. So with that being said, have a blessed and wonderful day. Peace, guys.